welcome to the Creative JuggleJoy Podcast. I'm Kaylie Edwards, your multi-passionate mompreneur from the UK, and today I want to take you on a little journey, my journey. It's been filled with creativity, lots of juggling, and a fair share of ups and downs. But through it all, I've learned so much, and I'm here to share that with you today. Early creative roots and overcoming challenges. So creativity has always been a big part of my life. Ever since I was little, you'd find me sketching or painting in my sketchbooks or on canvases. My family would always say they didn't know where my creativity came from because no one else in the family was particularly arty. But for me, those creative projects were more than just hobbies. They were lifelines. They got me through some really tough times, from years of being bullied at school, child abuse, and other traumatic events, to the heartbreak of losing my grandad when I was just 13. He was someone I was incredibly close to, and losing him was one of the hardest things I've ever gone through. Through all of that, art was my safe space. It was where I could express myself, find comfort, and create something beautiful out of the chaos. I spent most of my breaks in school, either in the art classroom, creating projects, finishing things off, or I'd be in the product design classroom doing other projects, finishing off my really cool wardrobe that I created. And I think that's why my creativity is so close to my heart. It's more than just making things. It's about healing, connecting, and finding joy even when life is hard. College and early career in art and design. My passion for art led me to take art and design foundations in college, where I discovered my love for ceramics. I loved all art, but ceramics was just a love that I ended up with. I had an amazing tutor named Rachel, who was patient, funny, and truly supportive. She helped me create a portfolio that I knew would land me a spot at Craig Bradley Design Limited, the only creative place I could work in my small hometown of Denbigh. I applied as soon as there was an opening, and I was thrilled that I got accepted for a trial day. I was up against a few people that I personally thought were better than me. I loved every moment of it and was over the moon when I got the job. Working on the clay on the floor, carving and stamping the tiles to create beautiful bespoke pool tiles and murals. It was physically demanding, but I adored it. Even after being diagnosed with fibromyalgia just 6 months before, I persevered, taking all the overtime I could to make up for sick days. But then, life threw me a curveball. The company was hit with a big fine for lead poisoning issues that happened before I started, and I was made redundant after 6 months. It was a shock, and I had to quickly pivot. I ended up as an IT assistant on a business administration apprenticeship, which unexpectedly steered me into business and marketing roles over the next 10 years. Building skills in business and marketing. Over those 10 years, I dove deep into the world of business and marketing. I completed graphic design course and took on various marketing courses and covered everything from email marketing and website building to advertising. I found myself enjoying the creative aspects of these roles, and it felt like I was finally combining my love for creativity with a newfound business skills. Starting my creative business and learning to pivot. Fast forward to November 2019. I decided to take the plunge and start my handcrafted candle business. It took me 2 years prior that to gather all the supplies and equipment I needed, and to gather the courage as well to actually start. I was so excited to launch and have my first craft fair lined up at the end of November, which I did. And it was great. I earned some money, gave me that little boost I needed. But as we all know, life has a funny way of throwing curveballs. And just a few months later, the COVID-19 pandemic hit. All the events I booked were cancelled, and suddenly I was stuck. My mindset took a hit and the doubt started creeping in. I was questioning everything. Was I even cut out for this? Then, during lockdown, I ended a difficult relationship and found myself starting over in so many ways. But life also has a way of bringing beautiful beginnings, and in 2021 I met my current partner. We conceived my son not long after, and I remember being about 6 weeks pregnant at my last craft fair. The evening before, into the early hours before the craft fair, I was obviously preparing and getting everything right and getting all the labels on everything, boxing up all my tea lights, and I was sat on the floor boxing up tea lights and finishing off cleaning them, and I was hit with waves of sickness. I was so stressed. I was like, I need to get this out. I can't feel sick now. And then obviously, knowing I was 6 weeks pregnant, realisation hit. It was going to be really difficult if this pregnancy was going to be sick all the way through. How was I going to create my products? How was I going to work and do that? Sat there on that floor was so difficult. And I knew that after this craft fair, that was going to have to be it. Running a product-based candle business wasn't going to work with a baby on the way. When was I going to have the time, once this baby was here, to go into my workspace and create candles? Enough to make a living. I had to pivot once again. Key lessons and mistakes from the candle business. One of the biggest lessons I learned from my candle business was the importance of focusing on the right things at the right time. I got so wrapped up on the legal aspects, making sure I had the correct CLP labels, that my candles were safe, and that I had the right insurance, that I almost forgot why I started in the first place. My love for creating and wanting to move away from the boring hustle and bustle of employed work. I let those worries hold me back from just putting my products out there and building my business as I went. If I had just let go and focused on creating and promoting my candles, I would have figured out the rest along the way. Another big mistake was marketing to the wrong audience. I was trying to sell my handcrafted, sustainable candles at local craft fairs in my town, but the people, they were more interested in bargains than in supporting small businesses or buying quality products. I remember hearing comments like, I can get cheaper candles at Asda, or why don't you make candles that smell like sweets like the other vendor? It made me question everything I was doing when really the issue was that I wasn't in front of my ideal customers. If I had travelled just 20 miles to a more affluent area, I would have found the people who valued what I was offering. A lot of my customers came from my dad and family recommendations, my dad's friends who set up a glamping site on their farm. A lot of my candles went to them. Pivoting to Etsy and freelance marketing. With a newborn in my arms, I decided to open an Etsy shop, selling digital printables and designing my designs for print-on-demand products, so t-shirts, mugs, cushions, you name it. I worked tirelessly to get my shop up to 135 listings by the time my maternity leave ended in April 2023. It was a hustle, and let me tell you, juggling a baby and building a business was no easy feat, but I was determined to make it work. However, another lesson I learned was the importance of consistency in marketing. With the pandemic in full swing, offline opportunities were limited, but I could have done more online to keep my shop thriving. Looking back, I wish I had been more consistent in my online marketing efforts and worked harder on my mindset during those tough times. These are lessons that have shaped my approach today. Reality hit again, and I realised I needed to bring in more immediate cash. So I pivoted to freelance email marketing to replace some of the lost income. This is where Dolores comes in, one of my first clients and someone I've had the pleasure of working with on a monthly basis ever since. I manage her weekly emails, promotional campaigns, and now I'm setting up all her funnels and automations. This partnership has been one of the most rewarding parts of my journey, and being part of her community of students has been incredible. It's taught me so much about the power of collaboration and connection. Finding my true path with teaching and digital resources. In February 2024, I did my first live email marketing training with one of my clients' coaching groups, and it lit a fire in me. This was what I was meant to do: teach, guide, and help other creatives navigate the complexities of marketing and business. My wonderful co-host, Dolores, was a huge encouragement during this time, sparking the idea of creating courses and trainings for creatives. Since then, I've been creating digital resources, challenges, mini courses, and working on my business and marketing beta membership, specifically for multi-passionate creatives like you. I'm passionate about helping you build a business that doesn't just survive but thrives and is sustainable, even with all the juggling you have to do. Why am I here to support you? I know what it's like to feel overwhelmed, to question if you're doing the right thing, and to wonder if you can really make it all work. But I also know the power of creativity and how it can transform your life in the most unexpected ways. I'm here because I want to share what I've learned and help you find the joy in your own journey, even when it's messy, chaotic, and far from perfect. I've been in the trenches just like you. I've had to pivot, start over, find new ways to keep my dreams alive. And through it all, I've learned that it's not about being perfect or having it all figured out, because when you've got a toddler, that doesn't happen. It's about showing up, giving yourself grace, and taking one step at a time. Thank you so much for listening today. I'm really grateful to have you here, and I hope my story has resonated with you in some way. If you're on this creative journey too, know that you're not alone, and that together we can navigate this beautiful chaos and find joy in the juggle. Make sure to subscribe to the podcast on your favourite platform so you never miss an episode. I'd also love to hear from you. What's your story? What challenges are you facing? Reach out, connect, and let's keep the conversation going. And if you found today's episode helpful, please share it with a friend who might need to hear it too. Your support means everything to me, and I'm so excited to keep sharing this journey with you.